Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting edge conversation, and we're not fooling tonight, while exploring the quantum possibilities. We have an incredible show tonight, but before Augie tells you about our guest, I just want to thank you as always. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for the lively chat that goes on in the chat room. Thank you for your super chats. Margaret, I didn't get to say thank you for last week. Thank you so much. You know, when you send us the super chats, it's such a gift of love, and we're so grateful. I just want to invite you to join us on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for the Mastermind Connection. A group of really cool people get together. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, and we create an intention, and together we envision beautiful imagery that supports the intention, and we go into the feeling place of it, right? We tap into the quantum, and we evoke changes in the physical. So we've done things with healing, we've done things with weather patterns, we've done things with things that people have needed, you know, like a home if they were homeless, right? Really amazing things have manifested. If you're curious, or if it feels like something you would like to check out, send us an email to the mastermind connection, all one word, at gmail.com. Augie will send you the link. You can come and join us at 3 p.m. We have an open discussion. It's always very, very interesting. And if you like it, you can hang out and stay there and discuss with us. So Augie, I'm so excited. Tell us about our guest.
Oh yes. This is going to be good. Tonight, you will hear about the absolute leading edge of plasma science and technology of the future. The only trick about this is that this future technology is here today. And we have Jon Bliven here to explain what the technology is, the capabilities of it, and what they are doing at his laboratory in Phoenix, Arizona, and the main research center also in Europe. I know just enough about this technology to talk a little bit about it, because much of it actually can be explained through quantum mechanics. And this is what I'm telling the listeners and the viewers out there tonight. I don't care what you had planned for tonight. I don't care if it's dinner or going to the movies or visiting your brother-in-law. Cancel it. Stay with us for this hour, because this kind of technology is something you want to know about, because it is coming to your neighborhood soon. Then again, chances are it already is in your neighborhood, because if people in your neighborhood are sharp enough to go to the website that we're going to show you shortly, then they can find some of these devices and some of these things that would really make their life totally different. And in relation to that, I want to tell you about a 35-second story that I have just a very small part of, and that is that I have a friend over in Germany, and Klaus over there, not this last winter, but the winter before, he heated his house, not by turning the furnace on, but by using a little device that he got from the people that you're going to hear about today. And he heated his house with this device, and it wasn't plugged in anywhere. So now, I told Jon about this about 2 hours ago when we talked on the phone, and he wasn't impressed. And he said, yeah, I know, but there's so much more now. So, okay, a guy heats his house by not turning the furnace on, but by using a little device. That is impressive to me, but I guess that is, we want to hear the rest of the story, Jon. So we have Jon Bliven with us. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Jon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, this is exciting.
So the KESH Foundation, which I'm a part of, is a spaceship organization. And what they're doing under the leadership of Moran Kesh, an Iranian scientist, are they're bringing forward technologies that are technologies that have never been seen on this planet before. And they work with magnetic and gravitational fields to create energy fields that can be utilized for a number of different purposes. Whether those purposes are for healing, whether those purposes are for elevating the soul, balancing the energies within the individual, or creating crops that are GMO free, for example. There's a wide variety of stuff that these energy fields can do, and we're on the cutting edge with the foundation of bringing these things forward. When Augie told me about the story of the heating, I've heard these stories before, and they are true, but there's so much more that's coming forward that's almost, for most people, unbelievable. Because as a spaceship organization, we're bringing forward space technology that will allow for travel into the depths of space in a completely different way, without rockets, without fuel. They're developing technologies now where you can travel in an energy field. I don't know if anybody's seen the movies where they create an energy bubble and they travel in this energy bubble, kind of like a Merkaba. Mm-hmm. But these things are going to become reality for today's citizens. And when they become available, it will open up an entirely new world for all of us. It'll open up a world where what we thought were, we call them aliens or space beings, we'll start to understand that this universe is much bigger than people understand. And these craft that they see in some of these videos where they're a light energy and they flicker and they change colors and then they zip from one side to the other. These are the types of things that we're creating, and we're creating them not only at our facility in Mesa, Arizona, but also in Austria, in Linz, Austria. So I'll share with you some of the things that we're doing, but I'll, for the time being, pass it back to Augie and let him work on some questions, and we can address those specifically.
Let me just mention one thing in relation to what you just said about these technologies and moving in space and so on. In about 1978, the head of the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, in an interview, he did say that we know how to take ET home, and it would not take a lifetime to do it. And he also said that if you have seen it on Star Trek, we already know how to do it.
Yeah.
So the technologies you are talking about is now finally coming out into the private sector, where maybe the military have had it for many years.
One of the good things about the Kesh technology, it's a step above even what the military has today. It's the higher dimensional energy fields. So, for example, the military might use something like a TR-3B or a flying triangle to get from, here to the moon or Mars or wherever they go. We're bringing forward at this particular time, as the Earth plane allows the higher dimensional energies to come into the plane, we're bringing about energy fields of a higher magnitude or cosmic energy fields. So we'll be able to travel not only our universe, but throughout the universes. So this is it's exciting because it's all brand new, never seen before on this planet. And the technologies are, they don't cost billions of dollars. They cost, relatively cheap in comparison. So it's going to be available to a lot of people. And it's really, that's what it's for. It's for, I'll call it the average man, versus, in the hands of, a few that control it. One of the things that the foundation is really all about is bringing peace to this planet. And the technologies won't come forward until peace is a part of the planet and the technology is used for peaceful purposes. Because if in the wrong hands, it can be as destructive as it is positive. And we want to make sure that the technology comes out in a safe and correct way that people have access to it.
Wow. Well, I'm kind of almost speechless here listening to this because I can imagine the scope of it for medical.
Well,
And from
can we get a little specific? I mean, how does the technology work? What does it look like? I mean, it's a little nebulous right now.
Yep. So let me share my screen if I can. Okay, so if you go, can you see the screen okay there?
That's good.
Okay, so this is the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute YouTube page. And if you go to the YouTube page and click on videos, then you'll see a bunch of videos about the teaching that's been going on every Thursday night with Mr. Keshe, where he talks about a lot of things that are getting us prepared for our future. The current episode, I think, is 434 workshops that he's been doing on a weekly basis. I want to pick out a picture here.
And this is open to the public then?
Anybody can watch it. Anybody can teach themselves about the technology by simply watching these videos. They can go through and watch 434 of them.
Wow.
And there's a lot of information, not only about the technology that's coming out and what it's all about, but also about how the individual can manage his own elevation. So it starts him down this path of, it's really about where the soul and the science meet each other. So soon, as the energies shift on this planet, every individual will start to realize that they have capabilities that have been latent, and that there's abilities within their soul, if they can tap into them, where they can do things that in the past looked like magic. Things like creating something out of thin air. Things like healing another individual by simply being in their presence, or changing an environment in a room by simply being in the room with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a picture of one of the healing universal body enhancement units look like this in this picture, where you go in this, I'll call it an egg-like environment. You sit in this chair and the energies around you provide all the things that are needed for the body. So for example, if you're short on, your body is short on iron and you're feeling sluggish, it will provide it to you. If you're on medications, it will provide the things that are necessary where the medications no longer are required. It will feed you so you don't need to eat. It will do other things. So what it's really doing is it's balancing the energies within your body so that the soul can control the healing of the body. So we don't say that we're healing people, and we don't call these med beds. What we call them is body enhancement systems, where the body is balanced so that in this balanced state where the soul is able to communicate with the physicality of the person and heal itself. So the healer is really the person who utilizes the system versus somebody else doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself, and your soul is working with you to do it. When you go in the system and your soul is, I'll say, balanced, then your energy fields are greater. And when you come out, you're able to, I'll say, influence the people around you. Because now all of a sudden you have more energy fields within yourself that you can share with others. So it really is going to be a snowball effect that when we light up, when one person lights up the room, then the rest of the room can light up the rest of the community, and the rest of the community can light up the rest of the world. So this is how we move humanity forward. There's one step in how we move humanity forward is through these systems. Now, the same system that you're seeing here is actually can be utilized as a spacecraft, where you create these energy fields where you can travel the depths of space in this energy bubble. So it doesn't matter, how fast you're going. The people inside it are not affected by the G forces. It's like they're in a regular cocoon, and the energy fields around you protect you to where no harm can come. So somebody, if there was a meteor or something that was heading your direction, it would protect you from that. So you're in a protected cocoon.
So, John, may I ask a question?
Yes.
You're referring to soul. So
Yes.
why the word soul instead of spirit?
Similar words.
Similar? Okay.
Similar words, yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Within each person, there's a everybody has a soul. Everybody is a spirit. People use different terminology.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, what we're talking about is bringing the soul and the science together, that when we understand that our soul has this ability to, I'll say, fly without this unit, in this energy bubble, we start to understand where our future is going. But it's a progression. It doesn't start overnight with everybody, flying all around the universe. It starts with, one group showing another group, and it goes from there. And that's what this technology is all about, is providing the knowledge so that everybody has the ability to control their own destiny.
So then when you say you travel in space, You don't necessarily take this unit with you. You are creating, by being in the unit, you are creating an energy bubble that your consciousness or soul travels in. Is that more like it?
So you have the ability to travel with the physicality and with the unit or without the unit.
Oh,
And that's your choice.
no,
So
that makes it in.
So let me let me go back. Let's see if I can do this right. So this is available to anybody. You know, you go in, you find the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute. You go to their web page. You know, go ahead and subscribe. There's no cost or harm done in it. Then you go to the videos and you can watch any video you want. There's a lot of interesting stuff on here. I recommend you watch watch this particular video here on this public flight test announcement. These are the space flights that they're offering to people right now to go on and experience what it's like to be in these energy fields and travel wherever you decide to go.
Cool.
Again, it's testing. So we're documenting people's experiences and what they get out of this process. So just because they want to go to Mars doesn't mean that they're going to end up on Mars right away.
Mhm.
It'll be an experience where they'll maybe get the sensation or get glimpses of being on Mars.
Mhm.
You know, they have to experience it for themselves. Some people will go to Mars and bring back a rock from Mars,
Mhm.
and you know, they'll actually be able to bring back physical objects and send
Wow.
physical objects.
Wow.
Wow.
So if you choose not to travel with the unit, how does that work?
So eventually, everybody has the ability when their soul is elevated to a higher dimension, they have the ability to bring their soul out to the point where it encompasses the whole physicality, and they travel within that physicality if that's what they desire. We have to learn.
Is it consciousness driven, maybe?
Yes. As a matter of fact, those units that you saw, they have no control system. It's all consciousness driven.
That's so cool.
That particular unit that you saw is a consciousness energy that you connect with your consciousness. So the two are what I call symbiotic. And the two, all you have to do is decide, with your thoughts and your emotions, what it is you want to do and where you want to go.
That's so cool. Wow. Very cool.
I wondered, okay, here we go.
So,
all right.
Here's the units that are in Lens right now. Here's two of the units. The foundation is offering now a limited number of people starting on June the 6th to participate in space flights. I'm not here to try to sell, the concept. Everybody has to decide what it is that they want for themselves. But you can go to Linz Austria, LINZ, and participate in the program. You have to make reservations and you have to have an agreed upon date and time. And you can experience not being in these units, but being in units without just the energy field. So this will be traveling. This is the next generation, traveling without the material state units. So you'll travel simply in a plasma field. So it'll be very exciting. It'll have no limitations. So, you know, as we learn to do it, we'll be able to go to, you know, the outer reaches of space.
Wow.
Now, when you're in these energy fields, things change for you. Your fields are, your soul and your physicality are balanced with each other. So if you are carrying, you know, lifetime worth of, I'll call it baggage from traumas that you had, you know, earlier on in your life, it will balance these energies so that when you're in this balanced state, you can find the way to your soul easier. And when you find your way to your soul, you can find your way to other people's souls. So in other words, you can interact in different ways. And this is the way the universe works. So what's being brought forward is technologies that are, I'll call it universal technologies, not of this earth plane, of a higher dimension than has been seen before. So you can go to the Keshe Foundation store. Up on the top here is store.keshefoundation.org. And you can find this space flight simulation. And if nothing else, you know, watch that video, understand how the future is going to be, and maybe watch some of the Knowledge Seeker workshops. You know, maybe you start at 434, which just happened last Thursday, and listen to what's going on.
I understand that you may have one of these devices pretty soon.
Yeah, Arizona is going to be one of the space flight centers of the world. And matter of fact, we're going to have 12 of these universal body enhancement systems here. We're going to have vision enhancement systems, which will allow the mind to reconnect neurons that have been out of order, and will also allow for growth of new neurons so that potentially, and we have to test it, but potentially blind people can see again.
Wow.
It'll be excellent. It'll be excellent for people with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Matter of fact, there's tests that have been done with Parkinson's patients that are online. You can see where a Parkinson's patient came in without the ability to walk or control his functions, and within 40 days was, you know, running and jumping and driving and doing all kinds of stuff that you know, he had been unable to do in the past. So wonderful. Yeah, it's going to be very exciting when we get the units in Mesa here, and most exciting will be the Spaceship unit. Our organization, or our group, is called KF Spaceship Arizona, and we're located in Mesa. We have a big facility up there, a pretty big facility, and people will be able to come in and enjoy not only a space flight experience, but also the wellness center.
Let me ask you. I know you mentioned something about health and so on here. Let's say, talk a little bit about the capabilities of this unit. Let's say that I've been a lush and my liver is totally destroyed almost. What can it actually repair like that? So over maybe a period of time, or can you speak to the capabilities of the unit a little bit?
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar, but the way Mother Teresa used to heal people, she used to heal people with her energies, with her soul. So
That's
you
right.
just needed, it was like the soul would talk to the soul of the other person. There's no operations, no whatever. It was simply energy fields that were transferred from one person to another. Well, this is what's going on with these units is when the soul is allowed to be balanced and allowed to be at its full potential, it will have the ability to help the body in the areas that it needs. So if it's a liver that's bad, it will have that ability to help the liver to restore to its optimal condition. When you go in these universal body enhancement systems, that's what they're doing. They're balancing the energy fields so that the individual can be can heal themselves with their soul.
This
Mm.
is amazing. So what happens at the wellness center, Jan?
So at the wellness center, we're going to have different units. We'll have these body enhancement systems, and when they're put in the right configuration, they'll create an energy field. So it'll be like you walk in this building and you won't be able to not notice that you're in a different environment, a higher frequency environment. We're going to have the vision enhancement units. We're going to have what we call horizontal body enhancement systems that will act like, as you've seen in the Star Trek movie, where you have the beam me up Scotty type
Yeah.
of concept, where you go from one environment to another environment. We're going to have those in our facility. Those will come after the spaceship stuff comes. But we're on the cusp of all of this. And nothing is years away, it's months away.
Yay, finally.
Yeah.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, I know
Sure.
everybody has.
So what, are there any limits, or is it just the limitation of your mind?
I'd say it's a limitation of your mind.
Mhm.
We have this capability within us to do things that, we've never done before. And we're going to tap into that.
Amazing.
Mhm.
That's why we keep talking about spirit and our soul and science meeting each other.
I
'Cause
love that.
now we're helping the soul to be able to reach its full potential.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was consciousness driven.
Yes.
Does it go even to the extent that, well, I don't really believe this happens, but I'll try it anyway? Will it still work, or do you have to totally also believe it?
So I don't know
Yes.
about the concept of belief, but we all have free will. So if we desire it, then we can achieve it. If we don't desire it, or at a deep level, we don't feel like we're worthy of it, or blah blah blah, it won't work. So maybe the belief thing falls into that same category.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
So these things. So when I say that they have consciousness, you're going to be able to connect to the consciousness of these devices. And even after you leave, because you have this connection that you've established, you'll still be able to tap into utilizing these energy fields. So you'll walk in once, and then next week you'll decide to, allow your consciousness to reconnect with that same device and continue to, elevate your soul. It's like remembering your grandmother. You're remembering the time that you connected with this device.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And,
Wow.
and so, this device now is also will be this connection, this communication with the higher energies. So as you connect with this device, there's nothing that says you can't connect with, a spaceship that's out there in the universe and have a dialogue, a more meaningful dialogue where it's two-way, and start experiencing other things that are out there in the universe.
Give me a little bit of an idea of what is your concept in your mind? What do you see the future of medicine in the, let's say, in the next few years, and maybe also in the next 10, 20, 30 years? What do you see happening within medicine? Will they be participating in this or dragged to it, screaming and just not wanting to, or will this be accepted?
So as we get more experienced cases where, a person comes in with Parkinson's and walks out healed, for example, it will get more and more attention of the medical community. This is really the future for all of the medical practices, if you will, because it works on, it works without the medications, without the surgeries, and without the, all of the things that the past medical system has done to us. So if you go in because a heart valve is not working properly, in the medical field, they'll cut you open and try to put stents and all this kind of stuff in you and put you on medications for, Lord knows how long.
Mhm.
In this case, your soul will help open up those arteries and heal it so that you don't have to go through the medical procedures, if you will. Remember that these units will feed you or provide to you anything that your body is lacking. So the concept of the pharmaceuticals and the medications, they're going to become obsolete. They've actually done experiments where they've taken an individual that was on, I think it was 43 or some ungodly number of medications each and every day just to survive. And they weaned them off to a small number, 5 or 6, or I don't know if he completely got off the medications, because sometimes you have to go real slow in coming off medications, but they reduce his pharmaceutical intake dramatically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So great.
How do you think the pharmaceutical companies are looking at something like this? Will they be able to participate in some way, or would they, well, I know what I like to see happen to them, but what is your opinion?
So at some point in time, the pharmaceuticals companies and the medical professions, will start to understand that we're not fighting against them. We're not, their enemy. We're actually here for all of humanity. So I think the public will push the medical community to not interfere and allow the technologies to come out to where the public can fully benefit. Now, even with space travels, there's not everybody wants it to come forward, and not everybody wants the secrets to be exposed.
True.
But we're in this time, it's a unique time in our history where the energies of the planet are allowing for these higher vibration energies to come forward. And it's pretty clear to almost everybody that this world and this societies that we live in need these kinds of changes. We can't keep going in the same way that we've been doing business. You know, we can't keep, working 9 to 5 just to survive. There's more out there for everybody, and we just need to tap into it.
So how will it be available to people? I mean, for a price, or I mean, they don't take insurance, right?
Yeah, so the technologies that are coming forward are stepping stones, because everybody has this ability within them to
Yes,
bypass these devices.
I love this.
But in the meantime, in order to get people, kick-started, if you will,
Yes,
these devices are available so that the souls can start to balance themselves. When they're out of balance, you're not going anywhere. When they're balanced, you have this ability to, start to elevate your soul more.
right. So
So-
if somebody's on 43 pharmaceuticals, they're
Yes.
not gonna, their soul is gonna be completely out of balance.
Yes.
So they don't have a whole big chance of doing that on their own. I mean, they would need an intervention like this, right?
Mhm. So you got to be thinking that a potential intervention is an elevated soul standing next to them, a
Ah,
Mother Teresa type being
Yep,
that doesn't need these devices,
yep,
that has gone through these processes, that by simply being in their presence can help their souls make better choices in their life,
love
so
that.
that they can move forward. In the interim, however, we need to understand that there's tools that can kickstart, all of society, because there's 7 billion people out there, and to think that one elevated soul is going to go around and heal the world is kind of wishful thinking.
Yes.
However, devices that can, help other people to where they can help, will make a difference.
So
And the
is there,
concept is, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Please, you go on. Mhm.
I'm just going to say that the concept is that the more you're able to give and the more you're able to help, the more the more your glass continues to fill up. So your
Mhm.
glass is never empty as long as you're giving and in service to others.
Mhm.
So this is kind of how we, keep things moving, if you will.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are there any practical things that people can do to begin to elevate their soul?
I always tell people that there's 3 things that are important in their everyday life that they can do that starts them on this path down, the elevation of the soul. They need to understand that their thoughts have energy, their words have energy, and their actions have energy. So if you become more the observer and less the one that interacts with these energies that are coming your way. For example, if you see the shooting in Texas and you get all emotionally wrapped up in it and start charging to the front, we need to stop guns or blah blah blah.
Right.
You're adding to that the energies that are not supporting you. If you simply are the observer of those types of events, send them loving energies, then you are the healing the planet and you're healing yourself. So everything you give out, you give back. So
Right.
your thoughts, if you keep them, as pure as possible, and your
Yes.
actions as pure as possible, and your words as pure as possible. Try
Yes.
not to use the hurting words. Try to use pick different choices of words so that they're more
Yes.
neutral.
Yes.
Those are all things that you can do on a daily basis, and it's a process.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, in a way, though, even if you get in this, I guess I should call it a pod or something, you get in there and you get, you participate in a treatment and elevate the vibration of the soul, and you leave, that energy will stay with you for a while. So you could actually use that. Let's say you wanted to heal someone else or help someone else to become better at, in some way. Will that energy stay with you for a while, and can you recharge without going back to the pod, or do you just stay with you forever if you keep that mindset?
So you'll have a permanent connection to the unit as long as you are able to connect.
Yeah.
Your energy fields and its energy fields. And it's important to understand that it doesn't necessarily happen to everybody in one setting.
Yeah.
So you go into these units, and for one person, they might, their energy levels are such that they come out and they don't understand what happened. For another person, they're all of a sudden beaming like a light bulb, and anybody that they're around realizes that things have changed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a mixed bag, and we have to kind of walk through these experiences. But even the I'll call it the hardened veteran, with lots of baggage to remove, they're still possible to be changed. So you can take somebody who's like a hardened criminal, and by going in these units, maybe not on day one, but maybe on day 5, they become a different person. They become more peaceful. They become, less things bother them, and they're, maybe they were, ADHD or what have you. They
Yeah.
become, calm again. Same thing with maybe a student in high school who has trouble getting along with, society. They can
Yeah.
become balanced.
Nice.
Mm.
Wow, this is so hopeful.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's so exciting that we're on the cusp of this really, really rolling out. And I think one of the elevation tools that we may all need to take, like you were talking about the shooting in Texas. The minute I saw that happen, Jan, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be part of that. And I have given it zero attention because I don't want to be building and amplifying that kind of energy. And I think we're going to have to stop the fight, right? The fight that we're having with the medical system, the fight that we're having in our mind with big pharma, the fight that we're having with the other side, right? I mean, that's like the first order of business, to begin to elevate our soul so that we can heal ourselves and others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said.
Cool. Very cool.
And like you said, even you use these units, in a way, it is self-healing because it is your soul and your energy that is healing yourself. So you're not looking for anything from the outside to help, except just being in the presence of that unit.
Exactly. Again, it's energy fields.
Yeah.
Energy fields are all around us. We're energy field. And it's when our energy fields get out of balance that we get diseases.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, we carry these emotions, and these, emotions lead to, cancer showing up in our body because we have this baggage and we're not able to let it go.
Yes.
So it ends up being a cancer.
Yes. Yes. No. Oh,
Now,
my goodness.
go ahead, Tori.
No, you go. You go.
Oh, let's say you are in this unit for a while and you do the, I guess I should call it treatment, self-treatment maybe, and then you leave. And then from there on, you can transmit that energy to someone else by explaining maybe what it is, and it helps them elevate the soul. Can they also connect back to that unit and get recharged, maybe like I was
No, I'd say
through
probably
me?
not. Maybe yes, maybe no. My guess would be no,
Mhm.
because they don't have that direct connection. It's more of an
Yeah,
indirect connection.
okay.
Um, I don't know. Sometimes we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to walk through the experiences and have people, share their stories, and through their stories,
Yeah,
we'll be able to, you know, understand better. We're all connected to this, greater God consciousness, if you will.
yeah,
And, part of it is just understanding that we're all connected and tapping into those connections. So even though, grandmother passed away, 10 years ago, we can still tap into that connection of the grandmother on the other side and, you know, experience the feelings of, what it was like
yeah.
when she was here.
Mhm.
Do you have any timeline in your mind for maybe to a point where this could be somewhat available to people just want to come and do it? Is there any?
So 2022 is kind of this year of change. It's the year of change for the planet as a whole. And these tools, and there'll be more tools that are coming forward, are going to start showing up in the next 4 or 5 years. Things like flying cars and things like, building a city out of energy fields. They're
Yeah.
all going to be within, I'll say our lifetime. It's not 10 years away. We're kind of in this cusp where everything's ready to open up in big ways. Depend on how our society embraces these technologies, whether they're able to grasp the concepts of the soul and fully manifest the creator beings within themselves, to how fast everything rolls out. My suspicion is that as more and more of this gets talked about and more of this gets shown, it will open up in a very quick and radical way.
Mhm. Wow.
So this could actually, or pretty close to, create everything that people would need if they know how to create things from the 0 point vacuum and bringing it into the physical existence so it becomes real in the holographic existence we are living. Let's say they need something, they could create it by the power of their, well, thought, I guess I should call it for right now, but there's more to it than just thought. But the thought is the physical expression of what's happening in the creation process coming into the physical. So they could create food, they could create, let's say they need new tires on their car, they could create that also out of the unified field. So this could totally redesign society we are living in, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So one of the devices that the foundation is bringing forward is what they call a material creation unit, where you can create things like gold. You don't have to mine gold anymore. You can create it out of thin air. But again, it's a tool to realize that everything it can do, you can do. We have to learn. We have to learn all this information that we forgot when we came into this lifetime. That we are creator beings, and we tap into, the universal energies. The world is our oyster. It's my feeling, there's all of this talk about, a new money system, Nisera, Jacera, blah, 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 and how it's going to roll out. It's my feeling that these creation energies that are coming forward will really be the new paradigm for how we interact with money and tangible assets in the near future. The material enhancement system, or the material creation unit, is already available. We're going to actually have one in Mesa in our facility, along with some of the other devices. So when you can show stuff like this, you don't have to have, people sweating and risking their life to mine, whether it's uranium, gold, or cobalt, or whatever. It can be created in a safe and easy manner to where it's available in abundance. As a matter of fact, not just materials of this world, but materials beyond this world. You have to learn, one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And the more people that, become, aware and working with this technology and the technology of their soul and their creative abilities, the quicker this stuff comes forward. And it will be kind of technologies that will be difficult for people to stop, because when you're a creator, you can create whatever you want, regardless of what the government says. And you don't have to worry about, the laws that say, I have to pay taxes or blah, blah, blah. You can control your own destiny. Each person can control their own destiny. It's not just me, it's everybody.
That's amazing. We only have 3 minutes left.
So tell us where you can be reached. And,
yeah.
So if people go to Keshe, Keshe, just like it's spelled up here, .foundation.org, they can view the foundation website, and they can see what the space technology, what the capabilities of it are, and then some of the new products that are coming out. If they want to see, there's a whole host of different products that are actually built and on display in Lens. They can book an experience with the flight unit, where they can, if it's their desire, they can travel to, wherever they want to go. I think we're limiting it to this planet for the time being, but they'll be able to, spread their wings if they will. Realize that the soul, can be balanced, and that they can, start to tap into these universal creation energies. So that's this link up top here, store keshefoundation.org.
That's great.
And there's other products and stuff on the store. In Mesa, we're going to have our own website. We haven't opened it up till the units come in, because we didn't want to get inundated with, too many questions before we're ready.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, because we got a bunch of people in Phoenix listening, so we were wondering about that.
We'll be able to, we'll probably start it off with a, we'll call it factory tours, where we show everybody the devices, and then offer, the services, the wellness services, the flight services. And we really want to get with the flight system. We want to bring the governments on board, because this technology is going to be something that needs to have a certain level of control, to where people don't just willy-nilly show up in areas that they're not supposed to be and, get themselves in trouble because, they're not aware that, going here is not
Mhm.
the place to be, like going into
Mhm.
a dark alley.
Now, we have been talking about a lot of far out things here, but I want to just talk for about 15 seconds to the people that joined us late in the show. What we have been talking about is very possible because there are other people that are saying the same thing. Ben Rich, he was the head of the skunk works at Lockheed Martin, and he said in 1978, right before he retired, he said something to the effect of that these technologies, they've been locked up in classified project, and it will take an act of God to get it out to benefit humanity. If you have seen it on Star Trek, we already know how to do it. So there is a different branch of it. That's the military branch that have their form of technology. But from what I'm hearing, this is beyond what they're doing. And this is real. So just keep in touch. And when you get the flight unit there up in Phoenix, I want to come and visit you.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us and for your beautiful energy. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. For your audience, remember that knowledge is power. So
Yep.
There's a lot of good information on the website. If you go look through some of the videos and such, and start to understand, how you can take control of your life.
Yeah. And here's my favorite question. And that is, if you could talk to the whole world, Jon, and they were listening, what would you tell them?
Think positive, and there's a bright future out there. See the positive and hang in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will do that. All right. Well, thank you for being with us. And when you are getting a little deeper into your project there and got some more equipment, maybe we could talk you into doing a show again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it'd be nice if when the units actually arrive in Mesa, where we can show a live demonstration on your show.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there. Maybe Nori and I could be right in your laboratory and you're showing it off. That would be great.
Yeah, it's a possibility too.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.